Welcome to the Weekly Roar, coming live from the Lion's Den, helping new managers become great leaders and awesome bosses. And now, here's your host, Greg Storch.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Welcome to the Weekly Roar. I'm Greg Storch, owner of Lion Enterprise, host of the Weekly Roar, and the founder of a worldwide barter coaching program called The Helping Hand. I'm a certified professional leadership coach and a certified leadership speaker and trainer. I hope you all are loving these tips that I've been giving to you. So far, my top tips include the importance of our attitude, fostering a passion for learning, being aware of your emotions, showing others the big picture, the importance of leading by example, and to listen and communicate. Now, it's time for tip number 8 for new leaders, and that is to be a mentor and have a mentor. The whole point of this tip I give to new leaders is that it's not only important to be a mentor as a leader, but also to have mentors as a leader as well. Sometimes when we rise to leadership levels, we might think that we have no need for our own mentors, but nothing could be further from the truth. Today, I want to touch on why leaders have to be good mentors and also why leaders need to have mentors themselves. There is such a thing as mentor leadership, and that's for leaders who take on an active role of mentoring. This is why that can be so important. Mentoring, first and foremost, helps grow great people who show the potential for personal and professional growth. And you've heard me say this plenty of times before, but leaders are responsible for growing other leaders. Tom Peters summed it up nicely when he said, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. Well, they do that in large part through mentoring. When you're a leader who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way, then you're a prime candidate for taking on the role of mentor. Mentoring is super important for leaders because it brings the best out of people they lead. Mentoring helps grow and inspire confidence and builds trust. Those are 2 key ingredients in a successful team. So if you're a new leader, then you might be asking yourself, how do you become a mentor? Well, let me share some very simple tips to get you started in the right direction of not only becoming a mentor, but becoming a good one at that. All right, first of all, you got to tell stories, and don't be afraid when you're telling those stories to make them about your imperfections. Good mentors are honest about their mistakes, so start there. Listen, I know people in leadership positions who strive to be perfect all the time, but the reality is that perfection doesn't exist. And frankly, a perfect leader is not relatable to anyone they're leading. We're all perfectly imperfect. And if you want your followers to relate to you, open up about your own mistakes. You see, when our followers think of us as these figures who have it all figured out, it can do irreparable damage to them. They'll be terrified to make a mistake at the expense of looking like an idiot. And that is not the culture you want to build in your organization or on your own teams. But the truth is, we all make mistakes, don't we? No matter how experienced we think we are, we weren't always that way. At some point, we started at a point where we were still learning the ropes and probably had to do something we weren't sure about. And I guarantee you, we made mistakes, and probably a lot of them. So Open up, be honest about your mistakes, and show your vulnerability. It makes you human, approachable, and a better leader. Now, the second tip to becoming a good mentor is to connect with those you're mentoring. Well, connect with all of your people, but especially those you're mentoring. Good leaders take a genuine interest in their people. If you want people to see past your title and your experience, you have to get to know them on a personal level. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go out bar hopping with them after work every night, but well, there is a lot to be said for that occasional after work happy hour. But getting to know your mentee on a deeper level will help you build a stronger relationship with them. It'll also help you to understand who they are as a person, their strengths and weaknesses, and how they interact with others. And then the third quick tip to become a good mentor is to follow an honesty is the best policy mantra. Good mentors provide honest feedback to their mentees and they let them do the driving. Yeah, that's right. Mentors provide directions. They don't drive the car. Some of the best mentors I've had have been my harshest critics. So I'm telling you not to be afraid to offer constructive criticism. And you can soften the blow by adding in some advice on how they can improve. Here's what you can do when meeting with your mentee. Make your feedback detailed, but also neutral in the sense that you focus on the actions and the behaviors and not the person. That way they don't feel like they're being personally attacked. Good mentors can help their mentees realize their own mistakes or areas of improvement with insightful questions rather than simply just telling them what to do. That's where the skills of coaching can really come into play in our leadership. You can ask questions like, what went right for you? And what could you have done better in this particular situation? What could you have done differently? So there you have the reasons why, or some of the reasons why leaders need to be a mentor. And I also gave you a few tips on how to get good at being one. Now I want to talk about why leaders should also have a mentor. You might hear this referred to as reverse mentoring, basically when a mentor gets mentored. The point here is that just because we may be the leader, you don't necessarily have all the answers. Now, here's something else that I've said before, but it bears repeating here. And that is that nobody achieves anything significant in life without the help of others, not even leaders. Every successful person, every successful leader, successful entrepreneur has a support system. That support system is usually in the form of a team, a dedicated spouse, or more times than not, a mentor who can help them go the way as they show the way. Success is much easier to achieve if there's a guide to help us read the map, don't you think? Richard Branson once said, if you ask any successful business person, they will always have had a great mentor at some point along the road. Now, when I did a Google search on famous people and their mentors, the list included Oprah Winfrey by Maya Angelou, Mark Zuckerberg by Steve Jobs, and even Bill Gates by Warren Buffett. Bottom line is that we all need someone who has gone before us to help us show the way so we can go the way. No matter if you're a new leader or a seasoned leader, here are some of the benefits of and the reasons why you should have mentors too. Probably the biggest thing is that having a mentor to push you is a great way to grow as a leader. If you have a good mentor yourself, they should push you right out of your comfort zone. Good leaders are trailblazers. They forge the path ahead so they can take others where they've never been. But we have to get out of our comfort zones to do things and go places that no one has been before. Mentors can help us do that. Another reason is that it helps us to shift our perspectives. A good mentor will help us look at our situation in a new way. By sharing a different perspective or giving additional information, a mentor can help us change our opinion or our attitudes. See, if we only draw on our own experiences, we're already at a big disadvantage and our learning opportunity becomes very limited. Having our own mentors can also serve as a source of inspiration and motivation. When we receive individual attention from someone who we admire, it can serve as a really strong source of inspiration for us. When you get a mentor, it can also be motivating to hear them tell us that they've experienced similar challenges to the ones we're dealing with, and even better, to hear the ways that they found to overcome those challenges. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Our chief want in life is somebody who will make us do what we can." He was talking about mentors. Imagine if you could sit down with your future self and get some advice. You'd probably get some pretty valuable nuggets of wisdom to share with your current self that would really help you navigate the road ahead, which would make you better prepared for what's to come. Well, that's what I think about when I think about mentoring, whether that's us as leaders to our mentees, or when it comes to having our own mentors to provide that advice and guidance to us. Well, that's going to do it for today. Oh, and this past weekend, I opened the registration for my 200th episode called The Pursuit of Growth. It's a panel discussion on the power of a growth mindset. Now, I'm going to place the link to register for this free event in the comments after the weekly roar is over, so you can plan to join us on Wednesday, April 27th. Same time, same place, right here in the Lion's Den. So don't forget to join me next week for tip number 9 for my new leaders when I talk about the importance of encouraging creativity in others. Until we meet again, my friends, remember, be powerful, but stay poised just like a lion. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Weekly Roar live event at lionenterprise.com. If you enjoyed this video, please tell others to join us each week here in the Lion's Den. Thanks again, and see you next week.